Well, we should be live. Welcome back. Welcome back. Just getting everything set up. We will get right on into it. We're back to Assassin's Creed 3 today. Alright. Make sure the stream is going. Yep, okay, that's good. Voice is coming through. And it sounds like the music or whatever the background noise there is in the game is coming through. And I just get this. Perfect. And chat is pulled up, and we're ready to go. Welcome back, welcome back. We're continuing as Haytham here. Where is this? You're in that paper over there, correct? I see it. These are really hard to grab. If my memory is correct. Where are you going? Okay. Never mind, that wasn't so bad. It went a lot slower than I remember it going. Alright. I think that actually unlocks us something we can read in the database then, if memory serves. We will read through them if we do. Doesn't look like it. When we get them, we'll read through them, though. Because I think they're interesting. There's a lot of them, and they take a while to read through, but it's still worth it, I think.
Hello, Charles. Any luck finding our mystery woman?
Word is she's been stirring up trouble just outside the city in a town called Lexington.
Well, then that's where we'll begin our search. I'll meet you there.
Alright. Going to Lexington. Let's go. Alright. So we're going to be leaving Boston, it sounds like. Don't worry, we'll be back. Boston's one of the main locations in this game. There's plenty of things that happen in Boston. It's kind of, honestly, one of the most important locations during the American Revolution, so I'm not surprised that we'll be back. All things considered. I'm a little surprised Boston didn't end up becoming the capital of the U.S. Alright, we're passing by the old meeting house. The bells in this church rang out in the hours leading up to the Boston Massacre, as crowds were gathering to taunt the soldiers in front of the State House. In Boston at the time, church bells were rung when there was a fire, so people ran into the streets to see what was happening. That swelled the crowd, making tensions between the people and the British soldiers that much worse. It ended, of course, with the soldiers firing into the crowd, killing 5 people. And this concludes our lesson on how church bells could be used to incite riots in colonial America. Probably didn't help anything, to say the least. Alright, let's make our way over here. I do simultaneously find it a little sad that the buildings are so much farther apart, but they are really cool that they're a completely different architecture than what we've seen in the other games. Here we got King's Chapel. King James II ordered the building of this Anglican church in the 1680s because he was king, and a perk of the job is doing whatever they want. However, since Boston was full of Puritans who had come to the New World precisely to get away from the Anglicans, nobody was willing to sell land to the budding parish. In the end, the governor ordered that the church be built on top of the old public burial ground, the logic being that the dead couldn't complain, they're notoriously compliant. And there the church stands today. After the Revolution, the church was known as the Stone Chapel for several years. King's not being particularly popular at the time, and calling a Stone Chapel the Stone Chapel was the best idea anyone could come up with at the time. I've never understood these people's need for independence, by the way. Okay, you gotta remember Sean's writing this, so that's why he talks like this. We gave birth to them. They were happy to suckle on our teats in their infancy. There were a few toddler wobbles, but as soon as they got to their teenage years, all they could bang on about was their independence. So they stormed out, but we know they'll be back eventually to borrow money or to get us to wash their clothes, and we'll forgive them because we are older and wiser. Alright, Sean, if you say so, if you say so. It is nice that, for the most part, throughout history, ever since pretty much after the War of 1812, and I know there's moments where it didn't work out, but for the most part, America and Britain have gotten along. You know, it's pretty nice. I'm glad that we're not, you know, enemies all the time. Why am I in conflict right now, exactly? I don't really feel like dealing with this. Oh, Hatham. Come speed. I don't know why they were mad at me. That's so weird. What did I do? I don't think I did anything, really. Hey, look at that. We're in a tree. Okay. Hatham didn't want to be in the tree, as it turns out. Yes, Hatham doesn't like climbing in trees. He just auto got down from there. Oh, we got orphans. So we can give them coins, but I don't do that stuff. You know, it's just not what I do. This is really neat to see at winter time. Look at that. Ship's way out in the distance. I wish the render distance in this game was a little further out. It looks so foggy at times. Like, this isn't the worst it gets by any means, but there's moments in this game where you can't see fucking anything. And that makes me a little sad, because, like, what's the point of having a beautiful world if you can't see it? You know? And this is a really cool world, all things considered. So, I know I've said that... Well, I don't know if I've said it yet. This really isn't my favorite setting in the series. But for what it is, it's actually really well done. I think. Turkeys! Hey, look at that. I actually didn't know turkeys were in this game. That's kind of cool. I don't think I have ever seen turkeys in this game. Maybe I'm totally wrong and I have. That's fun, though. Man, we are just really going over here this way. Super far. I could use the horse right now, you know? We could go faster. Come on, boys. I'm trying to get to Lexington. Why'd you have to put it so far away? Alright, we're back at Boston Neck. Alright. Yeah, I want to go to the frontier. So yeah, the frontier is a whole region in this game. I might have actually been able to just go to the frontier through the map. I just thought about that. Hey, look! Assassin horse! Very cool, very cool. Alright, here we go. Look at this, by the way. This is such an upgrade from the previous games in the series. In terms of, like, visuals. For any area that isn't a city. Like, this looks incredible. It's pretty impressive, all things considered. Windmill right there. Aw, man. It's nice. I like it a lot. Entering hunting region, Lexington. So there is some hunting in this game. We don't get to do it just yet, though. Oh, come on. Don't get stuck on things. Keep going. Should just follow a road, but I don't feel like it. Oh my gosh. I also warn you, I'm not doing it right now, but I will probably eventually just needlessly explore the map just so it's mapped out. I just like to do it. It's very satisfying. I will try and keep it to a minimum, but I will undoubtedly do it at some point. Just something I like to do, you know? Oh, I'm not actually going as fast as I could. There we go. Where is that woman? Where could she be? Go, my horse. Oh, we're not too far away now. Nice landing.
Have you found her?
She's made camp not too far from here.
Excellent. Well, the sooner we're done, the sooner we can get out of this cold.
Yeah, I imagine it's not super comfortable.
I am afraid I have some bad news, sir.
Oh?
Braddock is insisting I return to service under him. I've tried to beg off, to no avail.
No doubt he's still angry about losing Pitcairn. To say nothing of the shaming we gave him. Do as he asks. In the meantime, I'll work on having you released.
I'm sorry for the trouble.
Not your fault.
Yeah, we'll get you out of there, Charles. Don't you worry. They do have a nice buddy-buddy relationship at this point. You can tell Charles is really trying his best.
We're too late.
Fire's only just been snuffed. Snow recently disturbed. She's close.
Buy horses.
Bollocks.
These tracks are fresh. They must be hers. Seems she took to higher ground. Out of the snow and into the trees.
Got some wolves around here. Undoubtedly, we'll have to deal with them. All in good time, though. Oh, there she is.
Wait here.
What do you got your gun out, Lee? Or, yeah, Charles Lee.
Damn it. Wait! Come back!
Charles.
You return to Braddock, Charles, before he grows suspicious. I can handle things from here.
But, sir!
But nothing. Go. Stop running. I only wish to talk. I am not your enemy. Please just hear me out.
I wish you would run on the trees like her.
Godswoman, only let me speak. Enough.
There we go. There we go. Gotta be quick with these. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna have to be quicker than that for later in the game. Just gonna be like up there.
You
and,
try my patience, woman.
right below her now, though. Oh, come on. Aetham, just climb the tree. He actively got out.
Are you touched in the head?
Me, Aetham. I come in peace.
Why are you speaking so slow?
Sorry.
What do you want?
Well, your name, for one.
I'm Gadzit Zio.
Well, pleased to meet you. Gadsday
Just call me Zio.
Dio.
Zio.
Dio.
Now tell me why it is you're here. Where did you get this?
From an old friend.
I've only seen such markings in one other place.
Where?
Well, it is forbidden for me to speak of it.
I saved your people. Does this mean nothing to you? Look, I am not the enemy.
Close to here, there is a hill. Meet me there, and we'll see if you speak the truth.
Alright, that's progress. I'll read up on her in a second here.
That town hosts soldiers who seek to drive my people from these lands. They're led by a man known as the Bulldog.
Edward Braddock.
You know him?
He is no friend of mine.
Every day, more of my people are lost to men like him.
Then I suggest we put a stop to it. Together.
What do you propose?
That we kill Edward Braddock. But first, we have to find him.
Alright, she's gonna jump off, I believe, but let's read up on her quick. Oh, I'm never gonna be able to pronounce that, even though I just heard it. Canetio. No. We'll just call her Zio. I think that'll work. I'm gonna butcher her name, I'm sorry. She was born in 1731. She was born as a member of the Kanien'kehá:ka Nation, living on the frontier lands near Boston at the time of the French and Indian War. Assassin records indicate she was the daughter of oh no, I'm not going to be able to say that, or clan mother, and from an early age was being groomed for leadership herself. While many in her community chose to ignore the incursions by colonists into the area and growing tensions between the French and British, Zio was convinced that they presented a very real danger. She began to argue to anyone who would listen that the village should take action rather than staying silent, which was contrary to the will of the clan chiefs at the time. She refused to follow their orders to remain neutral, deciding to fight back in her own way and recruiting help where she could get it, including from Haytham Kenway. Which is what we're seeing now. Okay. Alright, I guess we don't want to do that. I guess we didn't want to jump in that either. Yes, I know there's a new
I don't trust you.
I know.
Well, they don't trust each other. Let's see. Concord. This was the regulars' destination when they set out from Boston on the day of the battles of Lexington and Concord. Inside the town, the British found cannon, flour, salt food, and musket balls. They broke the cannon and threw the rest into the local mill pond. A bad idea since the local residents retrieved most of it later, undamaged. In their zeal, the regulars also accidentally set fire to the local meeting house. It happens. And then joined the bucket brigade to help put it out. However, the local militia saw the smoke and thought the regulars had set fire to the whole town. The militia marched in, causing a battle with the regulars at the North Bridge, just outside of town. It was a comedy of errors with very little comedy. The Battle of the North Bridge battle was immortalized in the Concord Hymn, a popular poem by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Emerson lived in Concord in the 1830s, which probably made him a bit biased. He refers to the fighting at the bridge as the shot heard round the world, a bit of an overstatement since the first shots of the war had been fired at Lexington hours before. Maybe he'd been napping. You know what poets are like. No, I really don't. Poets are like.
Yet you remain.
But I might prove you wrong.
Dog.
It will not happen.
So you say.
So I know.
Yet, I remain.
Alright, let's go check this out. Oh, more reading. Trading posts. Trading posts were essentially general stores set up in the North American frontier. The clientele, mainly explorers and members of local indigenous nations, would barter for various goods, such as guns, axes, and pots and pans. Payment was mostly in the form of furs, which were shipped back to Europe. The fur trade at the time was extremely lucrative, and one of the reasons that explorers were continually moving into the frontier. They were hoping to find more and better sources of pelts. There was a reason Davy Crockett only ever seemed to have one hat. Many of the trading posts were privately owned, but they were used to used to push political agendas as well. For example, after the Revolutionary War ended, the British government used their trading posts to encourage the indigenous people not to sign treaties with the United States. The United States government took over the colonial fur trade in the colonies in 1796, establishing something called the factory system. The idea was to regulate prices in order to stop exploitation of the indigenous peoples by private traders. Unfortunately, under the new system, indigenous leaders were forced to trade large amounts of land to get access to trading posts. Private exploitation had become government exploitation. Lucky that's the only time in history that's ever happened. Since that obviously wasn't any better, the factory system was abolished in 1822. Yeah, history's kind of just like that. Alright, let's head in here. The right tavern.
Wait here. A Mohawkman is likely to raise suspicions, if not muskets.
This is hardly the first time I've been amongst your people. I can handle myself.
Yeah, fair enough.
I hope so.
Alright, we got some people to listen into here.
Can't stand being quartered there. The endless crashing of the waves, the sting of the salt in my eyes, and the goddamn gulls shrieking and shitting everywhere.
You're sure that's where we're going?
Aye. The Bulldog's putting together another expedition.
That's what they're calling them now. Expeditions.
Aye. Smart too. Slap a fancy name on something and all evil is excused.
Interesting. Should be able to just get right into here.
I hear tell the French are readying to move on our positions. Wonder what Braddock intends to do about it.
He's already left for the advance camp. I'll wager our little holiday here is just about ended. We'll be marching south before week's end.
Okay. Well, that works out then.
Oi! Where you going, Cully?
Me?
No, the other cock Robin.
Well, I was leaving.
Oh? And now?
Well, now... I'm going to feed you your teeth.
And you were worried I was going to be the problem?
There we go. Oh, wait a minute. Shit. I didn't do the other thing. Wait, no! There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Perfect. That'll do. Perfect. That wasn't so bad.
You're hurt.
Oh, it's nothing.
Here. This should stop the bleeding.
It wasn't necessary. But thank you.
I think they like each other.
We should move on. Meet me at Braddock's camp when you're ready.
Alright. Let's go head over to Braddock's camp as soon as the game lets me know where I'm headed. Finally got places to be. Pardon me, sir. Come through. Oh yeah, it's horse stamina. I forgot about that. That's okay. It should be fine. Bunnies. So many animals in this version of the Animus. As opposed to just, what, horses in the previous games? I don't even think there was dogs or anything. Cats. Literally just horses. And then the only horses I think we had in the previous game were the ones driving the wagons. Well, in the previous game specifically, I should say. Not in all previous games. Come on, Ethan. Alright, Scotch Plains. Making progress. Alright, it's this way. I believe that's our target right there. How do I... yeah, that button. Hello.
Use the snowstorm to mask your approach. Having second thoughts?
Hardly. But I'll have to approach this carefully.
Go on then. I'll keep watch from here.
Oh. We're about to do something here. Okay. Battle of Fort Necessity. Date July 3rd through the 4th of 1754. This was one of the opening battles of the French and Indian War, and it's important that opening battles are quite exciting, otherwise everyone just sort of loses interest. In 1754, George Washington was sent to the head of the Ohio River Valley with a group of Virginia militia. The land there was contested territory between the British colonists and the French. Washington's mission was to retake Fort Duquesne and drive French forces out of the area. Washington and his troops attacked a French patrol at Jumonville Glen in what would be the first acts of violence in the war. Washington expected a return attack, and so had his troops build a palisade wall surrounding their supplies. Fort of Necessity, hence the name. But they might as well have called it the Fort of Inadequacy, because supplies ran low, and the militia and the British regular reinforcements were quickly overwhelmed. On July 4th, Washington surrendered and was allowed to retreat, and someone else was put in charge of naming forts. It was Washington's only military surrender, though he had plenty of strategic retreats. PR Spin was alive and well even then. Which, I mean, is, you know, it's pretty fair.
I can hide in that cart.
Can't win them all. Gotta hurry. Get in there now. There we go.
What's in the wagon? I need a full inventory.
As you wish. Let's see. 2 barrels of salt, 12 pounds pork, 10 pounds beef, 7 dozen eggs, 16 wheels of cheese. None of it French, don't worry. 5 bottles of whiskey, a couple dozen new uniforms, boots, leather for patching, blankets, a cart feed for the horses. What else? That's it. That's all there is.
Alright. Definitely not a human being in here.
Those cannons are like to cause trouble. Perhaps I could sabotage them.
Oh. Got another person here. John Fraser, also spelled Fraser or Frazier, was a Scottish-born trader living in the area of Fort Duquesne during the French and Indian War and a participant in the Braddock expedition. Fraser left Scotland sometime after 1745, possibly because of political troubles. The Frasers had supported the Stuarts, who were on the losing end of a rebellion. He set up trade on the upper Allegheny River. I have no idea if I said that right, but was quickly run out of his cabin by the French. He He moved further downriver, near modern-day Pittsburgh, built a new cabin, and continued to trade. Fraser was one of the settlers building a fort on the site of Fort Duquesne, near his own land. When the French took over again, Fraser supplied Washington's attempt to reclaim the fort in 1754, which was followed by the defeat at Fort Necessity, and served as the chief scout during the Braddock expedition. After Braddock failed, Fraser gave up on the area, depriving the French of a third opportunity to chase him off his land, so I suppose that's a small victory. He moved to the Tuscarora Valley before finally settling at Fort Bedford. If I can speak, Jesus. So I'm assuming he's our guy driving our wagon right now. Okay, we need to get over here.
Good news. General Braddock refused the offer. There will be no truce.
Damn it! Why, George? What reason did he give?
He said it didn't.
Oh, come on. How did I draw too much attention? The guy spotted me and, like, was
Those
hunting me down.
cannons are like to cause trouble. Perhaps I could sabotage them.
Oh, we gotta wait till he turns around then.
Good news. General Braddock refused the offer. There will be no truce.
Damn it! Why, George? What reason did he give?
He said a diplomatic solution was no solution at all. That allowing the French to retreat would only delay an inevitable conflict. One in which they'd now have the upper hand.
There's merit to those words, as much as I hate to admit it. Still, can't he see this is unwise?
It doesn't sit well with me either. We're far from home with our forces divided. Worse, I fear Braddock's bloodlust makes him careless. It puts the men at risk. I'd rather not be delivering grim news to mothers and widows because the Bulldog wanted to prove a point.
Where is the general now?
Rallying the troops.
And then it's on to Fort Duquesne, I assume?
Eventually. The march north will surely take time. There's a copy of the plans in the command tent should you wish to review them.
At least this will be ended soon.
I tried, John.
I know, my friend. I know.
That map will
Go
surely
down.
be of use.
Hide.
I need to find it.
Don't climb. What are you doing? Jump, then. Cool. Steal the tactical map. Let's see what we can do. He'll turn around soon. Maybe. Just kidding. He's going this way. I can deal without him. What are you doing just standing there? Get out of here. Come on, pal. There we go. I'll see if we can steal this without being spotted. Could just take him down right here. Oh, come on. Okay, so I have to take him down, that means. Lame. I thought I could, like, sneak in without actually having to kill him. I guess you have to knock him out, right? It's the only possible way. Considering that.
Those cannons are like to cause trouble. Perhaps I could sabotage them.
Just for pissing me off, you're going down. Alright, he didn't see me. Good. You're done for. Nice and smooth. There we go. Oh yeah, I gotta hold it. Okay. Okay, so we're doing everything right so far. I think we could technically just leave, but I'm gonna get everything here. close are you gonna come over here? Close enough. Okay. No. Do not climb the ladder. That would be unwise. Oh, you can see a ship out there. Again, shame you can't see shit. I kind of forgive it for the snowstorm, but like, otherwise, come on. Let me see things, game. This is my biggest gripe with this game, if I'm gonna be honest. I just can't see shit. Okay. Let's keep going here. Which way is out? That was close. Didn't like that at all. How do I get out without being spotted here? Come on, game. Don't tell me I gotta walk through these guys over here. Get out. I mean, only one of them heard that. Only one of them heard that. Okay, we can just take all three of them down then. Put that down. We're not killing nobody. Awesome. One more guy over here. Other guy shouldn't see this. There's probably a way better way out, but that worked, I guess. Did we not get that other one? I didn't use a weapon.
What news?
Braddock has left to rally his troops. They're marching on Fort Duquesne. It'll be a while yet till they're ready, which gives us time to form a plan.
No need. We will ambush him here near the river. Go and gather your allies. I will do the same. I will send word when it is time to strike.
Okay. Gotta take down Braddock. Where to, game? That direction. Can I just call my horse? No. I don't believe I can. Should probably find a road and just run along that. It'll be quicker. All things considered. What's up, guys? Bridge. Windmill. Oh, I think I know what part of the map I am on. I can never recognize where I am in the early part of this game. As well, it's snow everywhere, but no, I know where I am. Roughly. Doesn't mean I know where to go. But no, I know where I am. Just make our way through here. I will not control myself. Why don't you control yourself? Okay. Just gotta make our way downtown. Walking fast. In the cold water. That's gotta be really cold. Like unnecessarily. Raccoon. All the fun animals. Wish I saw a horse at some point. I would have just hopped on a horse. That'd have been pretty cool. Oh well. No harm done. Just make our way downtown. Gotta take down Braddock. It's time. It's time to take him down. If you've been paying attention to what we read about him, you should know how this is gonna go. Five months later. So not anytime soon, but yeah.
The cold, cold ground.
Here, here.
Hard at work, I see.
How did you...
It is time. We've set up camp to the north. Meet me there.
Gentlemen, let us away.
Yeah. I roll with my squad.
First it was too cold. Now it's too goddamn hot.
Alright, let's read up on what we're doing here. The Braddock Expedition. Date, July 9th, 1755. This battle was part of the French and Indian War. In it, Edward Braddock's force of 1,500 British regulars and militia was decimated by a group of French-led troops half its size. This is not something we talk about much in Britain. Yeah, I can see why. Braddock had been sent to capture Fort Duquesne at the top of the Ohio River. His officers included a young George Washington, possibly because Washington knew the area, having surrendered at Fort Necessity the year before. Braddock's troops were about 10 miles from Fort Duquesne when they were ambushed by a group of French and indigenous fighters. Braddock's advance troops were overwhelmed and fell back into the main body of the army. His rear guard didn't hear the order to stop and kept advancing into the main body of the army. The result was chaos. Almost every one of his officers was killed, with the exception of George Washington. Braddock himself was fatally wounded. Washington had him carried from the battle, and he died 4 days later. An interesting historical note, Braddock gave his officer's sash to George Washington, asking him to preserve it. Washington did. It's still on display at Mount Vernon. The battle is also known as Braddock's defeat, but interestingly, no one knows why. I'm kidding, though. If you need me to tell you why, I don't think you really got off for this. Yeah, it should be pretty obvious.
Too. It's a right swamp, I tell you.
It is how the climate here
Say
is.
nothing of the mosquitoes.
Warm weather and bugs are soon to be the least of our worries.
Not that I live in this part of the country, but
What?
yeah.
You mean
I
the
get it.
bulldog? Huh, please. We'll be in that one's beef soon enough and on to the next.
Where's your boy Lee gone off to?
Returned to finish out his service under Braddock.
I imagine the bulldog's none too pleased after the stunt we pulled.
Pleased to spin a tale of my incompetence and beg forgiveness. He has a way with words, especially when it comes to flattery. I expect he'll be welcomed back with open arms.
Which would give us a man inside.
Precisely.
Unless you've underestimated our enemy.
Hopefully
If
not.
I have, Charles will sense it first and make his escape. He's more clever than you think.
When this is done, I'm taking a week in New York. It's high time I went and saw the sights.
I've empty whiskey.
Aw, I wanted to listen to everything they had to say. That's okay.
I see you've been busy.
All these men are from many different tribes, united in their desire to see Braddock sent away. The Abenaki, the Lenape, the Shawnee.
And you? Who do you stand for?
Myself.
Surely doesn't
What
want
would
to
you
say.
have me do?
Well, you will help the others to prepare.
Well,
Follow.
actually, no, he knows. Never mind. He doesn't know the correct name.
They
for it,
come.
but yeah.
Everything all right, sir? Just savoring the moment. No doubt, many wonder why it is we've pushed so far west. These are wild lands, as yet untamed and unsettled. But it shall not always be so. In time, our holdings will no longer suffice. And that day is closer than you think. We must ensure our people have ample room to grow and further prosper. Which means we need more land. The French understand this and endeavor to prevent such growth. They skirt around our territory, erecting forts and forging alliances, awaiting the day they might strangle us with the noose they've built. This must not come to pass. We must sever the cord and send them back. This is why we ride, to offer them one last chance. The French will leave, or they will die.
Now's the time to strike.
Wait. To scatter the expedition is not enough. We must ensure that Braddock falls, else he's sure to try again. I'll disguise myself as one of his own and make my way to his side. Your ambush will provide the perfect cover for me to deliver the killing blow.
A sound plan. Let's read up on some of our allies here. We got the Abenaki. The Abenaki nation originated in what it's now Northern England. Jesus Christ, Northern England. New England and the South Canadian Maritimes. Although suggesting they're only one nation may be a bit of a misnomer, since Abenaki can refer to numerous groups from the same approximate geographic area and language family. Algonquin, since you asked. Although the various Abenaki would join together during crisis events, like when they were under attack from other nations, for the most part they had no central authority. That's probably partly what caused the encroachment of British colonists on their land. The British liked to have formal governments they could negotiate treaties with. It's just so much more civilized, and sometimes they're canapes. I have no idea if I said that word right either. So from the colonists' perspective, no central government meant that the Abenaki had no claim on the land. Of course, they could have found out otherwise, but that would have taken work and been complicated, and perhaps most importantly, the Abenaki might have said no. While the Abenaki tried to remain neutral during the French and Indian War, they were quite literally caught between the warring British and French colonies, so some conflict was inevitable. For the most part, they sided with the French, who were less responsible for driving them out of their homeland. The lesser of two evils, I suppose you could say. Though that's a sentence I never thought I'd say about the French. Whatever you say, Sean, whatever you say. Then we have the Lenape. Also called the Lenni Lenape, or the Delaware, before European colonization, the Lenape lived mostly along the banks of the Delaware River in what's modern-day New Jersey and Pennsylvania. The Lenape were one of the first nations to come into contact with Europeans, most significantly with William Penn, who founded Pennsylvania, which was a stroke of luck given his name. While the Lenape relationship with Penn was mostly peaceful, when Penn died, his sons forced most of the Lenape off their land in a deal known as the Walking Purchase. During the French and Indian War, the Lenape sided primarily with the French, though some individual groups would later leave to join the British. In 1778, they were the first to sign a land treaty with the Continental Congress, agreeing to provide scouts to the army in exchange for supplies. I imagine they simply liked fine cheeses and onions. The newly formed United States showed its gratitude by eventually moving the Lenape into isolated communities in Ohio and southern Canada. How wonderfully thoughtful, yeah. Yeah, the U.S. wasn't exactly very nice to the natives, no doubt. We have the Shawnee. At the time of the French and Indian War, the people of the Shawnee Nation were mostly living in and around the Ohio Valley, the territory surrounding Fort Duquesne. Traditionally, their hunting grounds had extended into Pennsylvania and Virginia, but they were being slowly moved from their lands by the advancing line of British colonization. Hoping to stop or at least slow settlement, some of the Shawnee entered the war siding with their traditional trading partners, that is, the French. By 1758, some Shawnee negotiated peace with the British in the Treaty of Easton. However, the treaty wasn't respected, and if you know anything about colonial history, you're probably sadly unsurprised by that, leading to another war, Pontiac's Rebellion in 1763. By the time the American Revolution started, many of the Shawnee opted to remain neutral, although some sided with the British, again hoping for help pushing back colonists. Unfortunately, the result was the same as many other indigenous peoples. The Shawnee were forced to leave their lands, with the majority eventually settling in Oklahoma. Good lord, settling in Oklahoma, as if their story couldn't get any worse. Yeah, that's maybe the worst place they ever got sent. Fair enough.
We await your signal.
There, in front of us.
Kill them!
Ah, block. There we go. We did actually use a knife, which is kind of cool. There we go. Good teamwork, boys. Now we go join. Oh, I guess I could have done it without doing that. Oh, whatever. That's fine. Not end of world. Got allies watching our top sides.
How could anyone call this forest home? It's all mud.
If the French push back, there'll be a lot of opportunities for us up north.
Alright. Pardon me coming through. Don't mind me, guys. You're doing great.
Sir, you are grateful to have served.
General!
Yikes.
Edward. Not so fun on the other end of the barrel, is it?
Look out!
Sir. Where are you off to, Edward?
Unfortunate he ran off. The French did just show up, so that makes sense. Load the gun. Again. The ragdoll physics, oh my god. Can't even with that. No, he's getting away. Why are we going so slow? Let me catch up. End of the line. Oh, no, not risk again.
I never took you for a coward, Edward.
Come on, then! Such arrogance. I always knew it would be the end of you. Is the end of you.
Don't. Hurry before he gets away! I said go!
The fact that she just beats on but doesn't kill George Washington. Which, okay, now we get a thing for George Washington. Alright, born 1732. Here's a name even you should recognize, George Washington, who will go on to be the leader of the army during the American Revolution and the first president of the United States. I was going to say you probably knew everything I'm going to tell you, but that would be a lie. What you know is that George Washington has a lot of things named after him, and anything else you learned in school you forgot because you thought you'd never use it in real life. You should call your history teacher and tell her she was right all along. George Washington was the son of a planter from Virginia. He was raised with little education, but was ambitious, teaching himself mostly from books. Okay, we're just calling him Washing now? Okay. Washing started in business early, speculating on land starting at the age of 18. When he was 20, his older brother died, leaving him the heir of the family plantation at Mount Vernon, where he lived until his death, where you can still visit his grave today. Washington got his military start during the French and Indian War, leading an expedition to Fort Duquesne in 1754, a destination he never reached, having surrendered at Fort Necessity. The next year, Washington headed to Fort Duquesne again, this time as a guide for Edward Braddock during the ill-fated Braddock expedition. Washington went as a volunteer, hoping that working for Braddock would get him a track to military promotion. Though the battle was a rout, Washington earned credit for organizing the retreat, and later that year he was made a colonel in charge of the Virginia militia. Washington completely revamped the militia with hopes that under his organization and training, they would be accepted into the British military. They never were. Washington resigned his post in 1758. I won't say the snub led to his contempt for the British, but snubs rarely help. By the late 1760s, Washington had become active in political life, taking on a role in the Virginia House of Burgesses. He went on to be a member of the Continental Congress, and when war broke out in 1775, he was Congress's choice to lead the army. At the time, Washington said, "I do not think myself equal to the command I am honored with," which I'm sure inspired complete confidence in everyone who heard it. Imagine if you were on an airplane and the captain opened with that. Yeah, that's valid. It's possible Washington was being falsely modest, but the fact is this. He wasn't a military genius, and he knew it. Though I'm sure it hurts your American pride to hear me say he wasn't perfect. Washington had several narrow misses where the army could have easily been obliterated, at Manhattan and again at Brandywine, among others. Washington won an early victory. He broke the siege of Boston, but he then made the disastrous move of fortifying New York, a city he couldn't defend without a navy he didn't have. Even you can work that one out. He spent the latter half of 1776 retreating across New York and New Jersey, losing battle after battle until Christmas when he pulled off a successful surprise attack on the Hessian troops at Trenton. And while that battle makes for some famous paintings, and it did rally the flagging confidence of the public, it was a minor victory in the war. But, they won in the end, so can't say you did a too bad of a job. Oh, I could have destroyed the powder
You're
kegs.
a hypocrite, Hatham! I'm sorry, Edward, but you forced my hand!
It's over. You're done for.
Oh, damn it!
That's how we kill him. Just knock him into a rock.
Why, Hatham?
Your death opens a door. It's nothing personal. Well, maybe it is a little personal. Been a pain in my ass, after all.
But we are brothers in arms.
Once, perhaps. No longer.
Do you think I've forgotten what you did? All those innocents slaughtered, and for what? It does not engender peace to cut your way to resolution.
Wrong. Whether we applied the sword more liberally and more often, the world would be a better place than it is today.
In this instance,
I concur.
The fact is, he's actually technically not dead if they're going to start back. Oh, we got him.
it's done. Now I have upheld my part of the bargain. I expect that you will honor yours.
Follow me.
Alright, well, she's gonna take us then. Now, where have we seen this before? it's got some indigenous stuff on it back from this time. Well, before this time, presumably.
No. No.
It'll be okay, Hathan. It's fine.
You seem disappointed.
I thought that I held a key that would open something here.
This room is all there is.
I expected more. What do they mean?
It tells the story of Yotzitzizu, who came into their world and shaped it for what life might come. She had a hard journey, fraught with great loss and peril. But she believed in her children and what they might achieve. And though she is long gone from the physical world, her eyes still watch over us. Her ears still hear our words. Her hands still guide us. And her love still gives us strength.
You've shown me great kindness, dear. Thank you. I should go.
Aww. I knew that was coming. Alright. We got an updated Animus database for Braddock. Let's read that quick. It was George Washington who carried Braddock from the field on his sash, which Braddock had entrusted to Washington. That carrying bit may sound a bit odd, but that sash is bigger than it looks, more than 3 meters long and doubled as a field hammock. It says something about officers that they'd wear a piece of clothing designed to carry their body off the battlefield, which would also single them out for getting shot at. The ways of war are mysterious. Braddock died of his injuries a few days later. Washington kept the sash. Here's something interesting. Because of concerns that enemy soldiers would desecrate Braddock's body, he was buried under the road so the wagons would run over the earth and hide the gravesite. In 1804, road workers rediscovered the remains and they were moved to another site, which is now marked by a marble monument. Which is interesting, yeah. Don't worry, guys. Pretty soon we'll be reading those emails, so hopefully it stops popping up with a new email after 5 seconds. Alright, a few days later. Hey, Charles.
Master Kenway. Did you find it then?
It was not the right place.
The others are waiting for you.
Gentlemen, please sit. I fear our temple was no more than a painted cave. Although it did contain precursor images and script, which means we are close.
Not close enough, it seems.
We need to redouble our efforts and expand our order and establish a permanent base here. Although the site eludes us, I am confident we will find it.
Truth.
Hear, hear. Furthermore, I believe it is time we welcome Charles into our fold. He has proven himself a loyal disciple and served unerringly since the day he came to us. He should be able to share in our knowledge and reap all the benefits that such a gift implies. Are any opposed? Very well. Charles, come, stand. Do you swear to uphold the principles of our order and all that for which we stand?
I do.
And never to share our secrets nor divulge the true nature of our work.
I do.
And to do so from now until death, whatever the cost.
I do.
Then we welcome you into our fold, brother. Together, we will usher in the dawn of a new world, one defined by purpose and order. Give me your hand. You are a Templar. May the Father of Understanding guide us.
May the Father of Understanding guide us.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's a reasonable reaction. Oh, I didn't want to say anything. I knew, obviously I know because I played this game before, but yeah, they keep that hidden from you for a while. For a while. It's kind of wild.
You all saw that, right?
Wow.
Wow, indeed. The key must be the amulet Hatham took from London.
We might know what it looks like, but we're no closer to finding it. Desmond, you need to keep going.
Indeed.
Hey, he's your ancestor too. Why don't you hop in the Animus?
Really? That's your response? It's like dealing with a 6-year-old. What is wrong with you, Desmond?
You want to know what's wrong? I'm sick of being treated like I'm not even here. Desmond, do this. Desmond, do that. Desmond, you better figure things out because the sun is going to turn us all to ash. And I know I was really nice to you, but actually I'm just another Templar plot twist. And yes, I would like very much for you to be controlled by a magic space wizard so that you can murder me. So there's your answer. I'm sick of being a goddamn pawn. I thought it might be different with you. I mean, you're my father, but turns out you're no better than the fucking Templars.
Don't you ever equate me to those bastards again. You hear me? Everything I do, everything I have done, has been for you. Maybe I pushed a little too hard, asked a little too much, but try and remember exactly what's at stake here. You need to get it together, kid. We're running out of time.
Right, that was unusual. Well, I'm just going to pretend that this never happened and get back to bringing everyone up to speed on where we stand. The news isn't good. It appears this temple is powered by a collection of, well, I guess they're batteries. You found one on your way in, but there aren't any more, at least not down here.
Any idea on where we can find replacements?
Not yet, so I intend to tiptoe into the Abstergo database. Now, if I can cross-reference these particular devices with their database, then maybe we'll get lucky.
See what you can do.
Obviously. Anyway, Desmond, you can either take a look around here or we can head back to the Animus.
We'll give it Desmond a little break. I do think William's a little out of line. What do you got to say about things, Rebecca? Oh, these... I clicked on that, okay. Sure. Let's see. Okay, received messages. Let's go back. Okay, we're at the start. Okay. Rebecca Crane, patch notes. Heyo, I had a little bit of downtime while you were gone, so figured I'd do what I could to upgrade the operating system. It's actually been ready for a little while now, but with the Animus in safe mode, I wasn't able to try an installation. Things I did, actually it should be we, since I had a few people in the other cells chip in. 1. Modifications to the targeting system. You should be able to move in and out of combat more easily. 2. Free running improvements. You're less likely to jump at the wrong time in the wrong direction. 3. Only one input for interacting with the world. No more choosing between parts of your ancestor's body. 4. You can assassinate while moving now. Definitely try it out ASAP. You can pick up weapons on the go as well. 5. We've implemented a weather system. Rain, snow, wind, it's all there. 6. Animals. Enough said. 7. Faster fast travel. Just open your map and you can instantly travel to any unlocked fast travel station. 8. Revamp the map. It now provides a lot of additional information and you've got more control over what it shows. There's a ton of other stuff, but your dad is yelling at me to get back to work, so I'd better wrap this up. I'll hit you up on the other side as you come across new features. I still don't really care for the way that they literally make it like a video game inside of a video game. I wish it was just Desmond viewing the memories. So whatever you do in the memories is what happened. But yeah, I guess that's just how they explain it. All right. From Sean Hastings. First of all, welcome back. It's good to see you fully recovered. Can't imagine what it was like for you trapped in there. If you ever want to chat about it, you just let me know. Anyway, you'll find the database essentially unchanged from it, aside from a few cosmetic upgrades. As before, you'll receive a notification when I've added a new entry. It'll also let you know if there are any entries updated, as is often the case when dealing with these conspiratorial ancestors of yours. From Willie Miles, I know it's easy to get distracted while inside the Animus, but I'm hoping everyone can stay focused here. We need to find that key as soon as possible. Also, do not go exploring the temple without first clearing it with me. And carry your headsets with you at all times. Can't afford to lose anyone because curiosity got the better of them. We're short-handed as is. Sean Hastings says, balls. We've got a visitor down here. It's Juno. She's been appearing every now and then. Sort of flits through the air, reminds us to guard you well, find the key, blah, blah, and then poof, disappears. At first we thought it was just another holographic recording, but then your father called her some rather choice words, and she glared at him. Honest. Swiveled those eyes in his direction and frowned. Creeped me out. I don't know if she's reaching out to us from the past, if some part of her is actually still conscious, or if maybe she's inside the apple like some evil genie. Whatever it is, gives me the creeps. And on that note, happy Halloween. Alright, Hatham's Amulet. Though I suppose Hatham's Amulet is technically a piece of Eden, it's not particularly exciting. It functions as a key, and well, that's about it. I know. We're all used to these things being incredibly powerful and thus rather dangerous, but this one is neither. Is it weird? I'm disappointed. That said, it's still critical to our mission, so I suppose that counts for something. Alright, this one's also from Sean. Good lord, Rebecca. With all the fixes and updates and improvements you supposedly put into this recent software revision, one would think you'd have the decency to include a British-English dictionary in the spell checker. Some of us prefer to use proper language when corresponding. The database keeps trying to replace the letter S with Z in certain words, and it's declared war on the letter U as well. Realize becomes realize, and color becomes color. Wrong. It's all rather ethnocentric, if you ask me. Also quite against the principles of the Assassin Brotherhood. Last I checked, and here I thought we were meant to be in an all-inclusive bunch. Whatever, Sean, whatever. Alright. Another one for Rebecca. Just a quick heads up. Replying to email chains will no longer return multiple instances of the word re. Should cut down on subject length considerably. Email fix. Are you sure about this? See above. Haha, very funny, Sean. Focus, please. Hey there, Desmond. As you'll see from the date of this email, you've been in the Animus for a few days now. But don't worry, I've been staying on top of your vitals. Not even a blip. So it looks like extending the sessions won't be a problem. Whatever happened between you and 16 seems to have increased your tolerance. The Animus keeps you in a resting state, which takes care of fatigue, and your memories are vivid enough we're actually seeing micro-movement in your muscles, which means no atrophy issues either. Still, we'll be bringing you out for breaks just to stay on the safe side.
What are you working on?
Lots of different stuff. If you're going into the field, we need a way to keep tabs on you and stay in touch. Hacking into local security systems won't cut it.
Thanks.
For what?
I don't know. Everything. You've sacrificed a lot for me. You and Sean both. I mean, you upgraded the Animus, you helped train me, pulled me out of that coma. You put all that work into the database and helped me solve Clay's puzzles. I know I haven't been the easiest person to work with, and I'm sorry for that. I just want you to know that even if I'm shitty at showing it, I appreciate everything you've done.
That's fair.
You really think we'll finally get some answers down here?
Maybe. Talking to the First Civ has always been a pain in the ass, though.
Imagine what it must be like for them.
What do you mean?
They've been separated from us by tens of thousands of years. A completely different language and culture. Possessed of an intelligence vastly superior to our own.
We're lucky they've communicated as much as they have.
I don't know why they had to make this all so complicated. I mean, if they need something from me, they should just come out and say it.
I've been wondering about that myself. I get the sense Juno and Minerva didn't exactly see eye to eye. I'm studying everything I can get my hands on, but maybe you'll find something
there
down
she is.
here that can shed light on the mystery. What happened between them, and why?
She's gone.
What do you think's behind that door?
No idea.
Do you think it can save us?
The first Civ seemed to think so.
What if it's dangerous?
It's not like we have a lot of alternatives.
Well, we could... I don't know, warn the president?
And what's he gonna do? Who's to say he isn't in bed with Abstergo? Seems everyone is these days.
What if we went to them? To Abstergo, I mean.
I thought about it, actually. Showing them what we've seen, trying to work together. They must know so much more than we do, but...
What is it?
It's possible they know exactly what's going to happen. That they want it to happen. I mean, for all we know, they're hiding out in bunkers right now, waiting for the world to end. And then, when it's all over, out they come. Ready to take control.
God, I hope you're wrong.
So do I, Rebecca. So do I.
I mean, it's not impossible.
Alright, I should be getting back to work.
Alright, that's everything she has to say. Talk to William then.
Yes? Just thought I'd, say hi.
You have more important things to do right now.
Jesus, Dad.
What? What do you want me to say?
I don't know. Hi, son. How are you? What have you been up to?
I know what you've been up to. Nothing. You wasted away in some shitty apartment with a pointless job, while the rest of us were out there fighting to make a difference.
You are such an asshole. Are you thinking about hitting me again? Because this time, I will hit back.
Let's just get back to work, okay?
Honestly, I'd probably punch William too. Like, I get kind of where he's coming from, but he's kind of a giant dick.
Would you look at that?
What is it?
If I had to guess, I would say it's a counter. And judging from the iconography, I think it's safe to say when that's emptied, the end begins.
That's not great.
Hello, Desmond. How's things?
Same old. Another day, another ancestor.
Who'd have thought you'd have a Templar in your family tree?
I think he started out as an assassin. They must have turned him.
Right you are, in fact. I've been reviewing our archives, and it appears that Haytham's father was indeed an assassin. Which means he was likely one too, at least for a little while.
What else did you find?
That fella from the opera, Reginald Birch, Grand Master of the London chapter of Templars, he and Haytham's father, a man named Edward, well, they were long-time rivals. Now, it appears Birch got his hands on Haytham at a rather young age. Worked his wiles to convince Haytham to switch sides. Wonder how he did it. I'll see if I can't dig up more.
Interesting, interesting.
Honest answer, please, Desmond. Do you think we're getting out of this alive?
I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty tall order. If the first Civ couldn't save the world, how the hell are we supposed to swing it?
We have some time.
We have less than 2 months. They had decades and a lot more resources. And the worst part is we knew this was coming for, what, hundreds of years?
History repeats, it seems. The first Civ was so busy with their war against us, no one even noticed what was happening. We get advance warning and then fall to fighting with the Templars. Lovely.
Hopefully, whatever's behind that door will make a difference.
And if it doesn't, well, at least we tried. Back to work I go. You should consider doing the same.
Alright, Sean. I like that Sean's a lot more friendly in this one. Like, they're finally kind of getting along. Where the hell are you going, William? That's where I was going to try and go.
we could be saved. We sought to face the sun's wrath and contain it. 4 towers would be built to pull her fury into this place and dispel it. But even with all we knew, with all we had, it would take too long. 1,000 years we could labor, and still the work would not be done. The first tower was never completed. The project abandoned. We moved on. But while we labored on other endeavors, a few returned. They thought to automate the process. Metal might finish what flesh could not.
I believe that tower is actually referenced in a much later Assassin's Creed game, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how far we can get yet. Just take a look around, though. There we go. Movement is quite a bit more fluid sometimes. I like that.
If we could not meet the sun's cruel embrace, perhaps we might rebuke it. Already we could generate fields to protect us in times of strife. But these were small and simple things. To replicate them on a scale the size of a world. We lack the energy to make it so. Half the world, they said then. It is better than none at all. We tried. Again, we failed. A quarter, they asked. Even this we could not do. A 6th, an 8th, a 10th, they cried. The answer was still the same. Perhaps in time a city might be spared. But it was time we did not have. So we moved on.
It's rough. Alright, well. That, I think, is gonna be everything that we can access so far. So we'll run back, if I can run back down. Run back down. Let's get back in the Animus, then. She's hanging out over here. Alright, Juno, going back in.
Alright, here goes.
Undan nizero het stanyo. Awira awa unte yard on jadagun. Tone warda nagarade. Desajero nero niha. Nekti yate huwayata nekera. Aze gante jajerda oni. Nekti ya otena degari wastakwe. Agungwe da sun a wahuan nordun kwedzi niot nesagode ya ogunga. Zewajerda sriat dizax ne heitham. Raganero kwakwe unte zini tokwanyo. Nekdi ohando yo hawitu yate haganera kwe. Zinuer da ojokwa templar agwego tadinyaro dardox. Ne onha atgetsanis. Zigatke sun arian a higu sagandanu agat gato zine sagar skanex.
Yeah. That is a scary thought. It explains why Hatham was so cold. $1760.
Is it one day stuff?
Onisa Jerdha.
Ya Otana Gwanek Quanek.
Radunagedu, the Wakarichirunyana, Runajagero Nadaratu than Yokodunis.
How it was? Nexi dosa izi nakahonda di yahaze.
Good, we almost got cut there. I do appreciate that they actually, as far as an English speaker can tell, I'll speak the actual language. So, which is kind of cool. Alright, I imagine there's going to be quite a bit of reading here, if I remember correctly, so let's get it over with. Kanyenka Nation Territory, I hope I said that right. More commonly known these days as the Mohawk Valley, this valley follows the Mohawk River as it runs between the Catskill and Adirondack Mountains. I've heard of the Catskill, never the other one other than reading it in here. It is part of the territory of the Kanien'kehá:ka, sometimes known as the Mohawk in English, hence the name. The valley also happens to be the only natural route from the Atlantic Ocean to the Great Lakes, meaning it was the only easy way to get from the coast into frontier territory and up into Canada. This made the valley incredibly strategically important during the French and Indian War and during the Revolutionary War as well. And by strategically important, I mean the valley was contested territory and regularly raided. Most of the settlements in it were razed during the Revolutionary War. Actually, the damage to the surrounding farmland was so bad that food had to be shipped into the area from the south. The Revolution is known in the area as the Burning of the Valleys. That says it all, really. Which is, yeah, not ideal. Okay, so yeah, we got some people entries here. Okay, we don't have as many as I was thinking there was going to be. We already read up on Edward Braddock, so we don't need to look into that. There's an updated one for Kanen'tokan. Oh no, it's not updated, it's just the first one for him. Born 1756. A friend of Ratan Haketan. I'm going to really try to learn that name, but I'm going to probably fail. From the same village, the two boys were the same age and members of the same clan, making them cousins, though the connection may have been somewhat distant. The boys were inseparable throughout their childhood, with Kanen'tokan being the more conservative of the two. That is, Ratan Haketan would be the one to get them into trouble, and Kanen'tokan would try to talk them out of it. Yeah. Okay, I thought there was going to be more.
Hi, Star. Zaga the 31 Star.
That's the one we just read, right? Yeah. Okay. New email. Great. Let's go have fun in the forest. Get out of here, dog. Man, back in the day, kids were just like, go run into the woods.
Wagari Huarge di Otstara, Ganatanyadu, Radinagare.
Energy that had.
Honestly, the voice acting for this part's actually really good, all things considered.
Anahorda de Watkaritsa Dunyane.
Yogoda Setuga. Haha, Zora Gohadu. Easy does it,
The short stick.
Aska Degani Asa Gayeri. Aska Dewat Nyawe.
Alright, where did everyone go? someone's in here. No? Stop making a mistake. Oh, I failed that immediately. Lame. Oh, dude, I could have seen you. Damn it. I'm so stupid. All I needed was to just find more footprints and I would have been good. Let's see if we can find more information. Alright. We're an excellent tracker. We will find our mark. You in here? Yeah. Okay, where in the world? Nope.
I teaser it, that's it, doom gonna go. Waguya, that's sorry. Ah!
Gotcha.
Teaser, they're under up. Oh, Okne, they go hard at it, and say Juni, they'll call it up the US.
Alright, well, I guess we played. Let's head back.
Oh, no, I want Nick.
Alright, where are we going now? What game shall we play?
Did what kadi cheduni?
Easy, has a yacht away.
Alright, my turn to
Oscar,
hide.
Degini, Asa, Gayerdi, Whisk, Yayak, Zada, Sadegu, Jostu, Oyerdi, Oscar you want it, Degini you want it, Asa you want it, Gayerdi you want it, Whisk you want it, Yayak you want it.
Where should we hide? I'm thinking this one up here. I like that spot. I recognize.
What have we
them.
here?
You look familiar. Where have I seen you before? That wasn't very nice.
Let me go!
Listen to that. He knows English.
It's not for savage.
You're spirited too. We have questions for your elders. Only tell us where your village is, boy, and you can go.
Best do as he asks, child.
I could snap your neck, you know. A little more pressure, and pop. The sad little flame of your life extinguished. You are a nothing, a speck of dust. You and all your ilk, living in the dirt like animals, oblivious to the true ways of the world. The wiser among you recognize the shape of the future. They throw themselves at our feet and beg mercy. But not you, it seems. No. You cling desperately to your ways, too ignorant to know your folly. But I am not unkind.
Yeesh.
And so I spare you, that you may carry word to your people. Let them know the sooner we are given what we seek, the sooner you can return to your pathetic, empty lives. A fair trade, is it not?
What is your name?
Charles Lee. Why do you ask?
So I can find you.
I look forward to it.
You can kind of tell that Benjamin Church didn't really agree with them, but, man, Charles is such an asshole now. He was such a nice guy for the first part of the game, but now I think he's been amongst the Templars for too long. Let it went to his head. Such an asshole. That's not good. That's very bad.
Yeah!
It's not good at all. Alright, where's Mom? We gotta find her. Let's see. We're a really strong child. Holy cow. I don't know why you didn't just duck. But hey, what can you do? Glad he didn't try and lift that one. How do we get in there? Well, that's convenient.
Jahta, John. Onak ti on Sadego. Onak.
Jacek andere.
Zodi onaga ona. Se sotstek. Radun hagedu. Onak ti on zarni gohrat sarni duhage.
Dodek.
Aserek. Togazun haak. Asesege. Nekti sa deri onderak. Dinawe. Adini kwe guhage.
Ja, zadoressa, da kwatka. Da gerihu, akenyaga te.
That guy who pulled us out of there is the real hero right there. That's sad though.
Ghana!
9 years after that.
Oh, naga isa. Yato wa gani goroni. Segunda gena kwaze wahi.
Nah, probably not.
Ngeni otaseraya. Oyaner mangeni wanundo se edeni roro ke tinohoda de dom dom ne ayogara we ori wage. Andi jata sawane edeni sto zeraro ke. Amado ene kane thoda di jatka thuni we ne ayedeni ti nakwa sorry.
Alright. Now we can actually climb the trees.
Wasqueni. Yasoji the one tore. Easy ona.
Why did you jump out of the tree? I did what it said. Oh, I went the wrong way though. Okay, that's also not what I intended to do. Alright, the hatchet tomahawk. Oh, we got one of those, yeah. Traditionally, the blade of an Iroquois hatchet was the flint stone. However, with the introduction of metal into the Iroquois society, the hatchet became much more efficient and deadly. In the colonial era, hatchet molds were affixed with a pipe for smoking, which is kind of fun. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch in here now. Okay, so we got the war post. When an Iroquoian village was to take up the warpath, they sometimes held a ritual whereby the warriors would strike a large wooden post in the village to prepare for battle. A hatchet would be left in the post until the war was finished, when it would be removed. We got the war club. A war club is a traditional Iroquoian weapon. Atop a long wooden shaft, a large ball is carved around the knot of a hardwood tree, which is used as a blunt club against their enemies. The wampum, made with seashells, or wampum, I believe is how it's pronounced probably. Made with seashells found along the eastern seaboard, wampum was used amongst the native people of the eastern woodlands. Amongst the Haudenosaunee, wampum made from the quahog shell would be refined into cylindrical beads and used to create belts and strings, which be used as mnemonic tools that commemorate treaties, laws, and other important events, in addition to symbols of legitimacy for leadership. And we got longhouses. In the times before European contact and up until the early 1800s, longhouses originally served as the living quarters of Iroquois people. Stretching between 40 and 200 feet long, longhouses were rectangular structures that housed a number of families belonging to a particular matrilineal clan family. Along the inner walls were open compartments for each nuclear family, with a long courtyard in the center, which connected the two entrances on each end of the building. Two adjacent families would share one fire hearth at each compartment increment. When the peacemaker brought the good tidings of peace and power to the Iroquois, he used the concept of the longhouse as the symbol of the political and spiritual union of the Iroquois Confederacy. The Kayanerikowa, the Great Law of Peace, indicates specific geographically appropriate household roles for each of the 5 nations sheltered beneath the dormers of the symbolic longhouse. The Mohawks serve as the keepers of the eastern door, the Senecas as keepers of the western door, and the centrally placed Onondagas serve as the firekeepers, where all Confederate business is transacted. Each nation had its own hearth, which symbolized its own domestic government, while the rafters symbolized the laws of the League that continues to extend with every resolution of the Grand Council of Chiefs. And here, yeah, this is where there's a whole ton of these to read. We will be reading them because I think they're interesting, and it gives you some insight to these peoples that lived in the region. Cayuga Nation, meaning people of the swamp. The Cayuga Nation is a member of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. Both the Cayuga and Oneida nations are referred to as the younger brothers of the Haudenosaunee Grand Council. Then we have Ratianer Chiefs. I hope I definitely didn't say that right. So Ratianer, plural, and Royaner, singular, is generally translated as chiefs. Each chief is named after one of the original founders of the League when it was established. These leaders represent their clan and nation at the Haudenosaunee Grand Council. The chiefs also serve as leadership within their respective nation. Each chief is installed by a clan mother who uses specific criteria to ensure he is qualified to assume his hereditary position. Chief is installed for life and is only released on account of merit, sickness, or death. Then we have Ayakotianer, clan mothers. Again, I'm not going to read the plural or singular because I definitely will get them wrong. Is generally translated as clan mothers. A clan mother is female. A clan mother is female, leader of her clan family. I think they missed an in there. Aside from her social spirit and spiritual roles, a clan mother is politically responsible for selecting a chief who would represent her clan family. She watches for potential candidates from the time these men were boys, looking for the special qualities and merit needed for this position of leadership, grooming them all along the way. It has been said that the Haudenosaunee leaders were not born, they are cultivated. A clan mother is installed for life and is only released on account of merit, sickness, or death. Then we have the Haudenosaunee clan system. The Kanien Kahaka were a matrilineal society transferring identity through the mother's lineage. This extended family is called a clan. The Kanien Kahaka have 3 clans: the Turtle Clan, Wolf Clan, and Bear Clan. Family names and clans are passed down from mother to child. Each member of a clan is considered a relative regardless of which Haudenosaunee nation they belong to. For example, a Wolf Clan member of the Kanien Kahaka nation and a Wolf Clan member of the Seneca nation are still considered relatives. Likewise, the men and women of the Kanien Kahaka nation practiced exogamy, marrying outside their matrilineal clan family. Clans have specific social, spiritual, and political roles to play in Kanien Kahaka society and is the pillar of traditional Kanien Kahaka governance. Within the clans of the Kanien Kahaka, all leadership members hold equal powers and are accountable to everyone. A woman leader, called the clan mother is what I'm going to go with, holds a powerful leadership role in the nation as the authority to select again, I'm going to go with chief here, to represent her clan politically. Moreover, she also has the power to depose her chief and replace him with another candidate. Taking into account all she knows about the candidates and his dealings throughout his life, she decides who is a good fit to represent the clan. Clan mothers choose men who are honest, reliable, and clear-headed, with knowledge of Kayanara Koa, the Great Law of Peace. Amongst the Haudenosaunee nations, there are 8 clans: Turtle, Wolf, Beaver, Hawk, Eel, Deer, Bear, and Snipe clans. The Kanien Kahaka themselves have 3 clans: Turtle, Wolf, and Bear. Then we have the Great Law of Peace here, the Kayanara Koa. Often translated as the Great Law of Peace, the Kayanara Koa is the constitution of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. These teachings outline the basic principles that unify the original 5 Iroquois nations into a powerful league based upon the good tidings of peace and strength. The Kayanara Koa also provides a complex decision-making methodology that is achieved through consensus building. In 1987, a subcommittee of the United States Congress officially acknowledged the influence of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy and the Great Law of Peace upon the U.S. Constitution, which is actually really cool, honestly. So then we have the Haudenosaunee people of the Longhouse. Around 1,000 years ago, a long and bloody war engulfed the 5 indigenous nations that inhabited what is now known as central New York State, southern Ontario, southern Quebec, and western Vermont. In the west were the Seneca and Cayuga nations. To the east were the Kanien Kahaka and Oneida nations. Located in the center of this territory was the Onondaga Nation. I wonder if, by the way, before we continue, I wonder if all of the other nations, if that's like their English name and we're only using the native name for the one nation. I'd be really interested to know that. I feel like it's probably likely, but I don't know. In the midst of this war, a messenger known as the Peacemaker provided a path of peace, righteousness, and power that unified these nations and put an end to their bloody war. This union or alliance is called the Haudenosaunee, a Western Iroquoian term that is generally translated as people of the Longhouse. The Kanien Kahaka term is Rothenosaunee, which means they are building an extended house. In 1722, the Tuscarora Nation was adopted into the Haudenosaunee, becoming the 6th nation in the Confederation. The foundation of the Haudenosaunee Confederation is the Kayanara Koa, the Great Law of Peace. This ancient doctrine provides an elaborate and efficient institution of democratic government, social and economic stability, and a moral equation to achieve a personal and collective peace. The Haudenosaunee Confederacy is a constitutional democracy that is governed by a group of 50 chiefs who make decisions through a complex consensus-building process. In colonial times, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy held a prevalent political and military influence over the eastern woodlands of North America. Then we have their Grand Council of Chiefs. The Grand Council of Chiefs of the Haudenosaunee is the central governing authority of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. The Haudenosaunee Grand Council is made up of 50 chiefs who represent each of the original 5 nations. Each of the 50 chiefs installed on the council is named after one of the original founders of the League when it was established. During debates of the Haudenosaunee Grand Council, the leadership are divided into 3 deliberating parties. The first party is made of both Seneca and Mohawk chiefs. The second party is made of both Oneida and Cayuga chiefs, including the Tuscarora chiefs. The third party is made of Onondaga chiefs, called the Firekeepers. As the facilitators of the council, Seneca and Mohawk chiefs present the standing issue to the chiefs of the Oneida and Cayuga nations, including the Tuscarora nation. Following a discussion amongst themselves, the Oneida and Cayuga chiefs shall formulate a resolution to the standing issue and return it to the Seneca and Mohawk chiefs for their consideration. The 2 parties shall then deliberate upon the standing issue back and forth in this manner until they achieve a consensus. Once both the Seneca and Mohawk chiefs and the Oneida and Cayuga chiefs come to one mind, the standing issue is then passed along to the Onondaga chiefs, who shall either confirm the resolution or offer a counter-proposal. Which honestly sounds like a reasonable way of doing things. The term Iroquois refers to a group of indigenous peoples who inhabited the eastern woodlands of North America, Great Lakes and St. Lawrence River Valley areas, made up of Kanyen, Kahaka, or Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, Tuscarora, Huron, Susquehannock, Northern Iroquois, and Cherokee, Southern Iroquois peoples. The Iroquois share a common ancestry, social organization, economy, spiritual beliefs, and dialects deriving from a Proto-Iroquois language. The term Iroquois is often synonymous with the Haudenosaunee, or Iroquois Confederacy, a political league made of Kanyen, Kahaka, Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, Seneca, and later the Tuscarora. Okay, then we specifically have the Kanyen, Kahaka, Mohawk. Mohawk being not really the correct term, but, you know, it's just what it is. Meaning the people of the Flint, the Kanyen, Kahaka, are an indigenous people who traditionally inhabit a territory that stretches northward from the Mohawk River Valley to the St. Lawrence River Valley. The Kanyen, Kahaka, and spans a geographic area of what is now known as New York State, western Vermont, and southern Quebec. The Kanyen Kahaka are joined by the Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Seneca nations who founded an alliance. Okay, we got that. Yeah, the Haudenosaunee was also known as the Iroquois by the French and the Six Nations Confederacy by the English following the naturalization of the Tuscarora Nation in 1722. Called Mohawk by the Dutch after an offensive Algonquin term for cannibal, the Kanyen Kahaka are considered to be the keepers of the eastern door, sharing with the Seneca Nation the responsibility for guarding the doorways of the symbolic longhouse of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. Due to their strategic geographic location in the east, the Kanyen Kahaka were the first of the Haudenosaunee nations to establish diplomatic and economic relations with Europeans on behalf of the Confederacy. I'm trying my best here. I really am. All right, the Oneida Nation, meaning people of the Standing Stone. The Oneida Nation is a member of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. Both the Oneida and Cayuga nations are referred to as the younger brothers in the Haudenosaunee Grand Council. I think I'm saying it right and then think I'm saying it wrong, and that's what's messing me up. Onondaga Nation, meaning people of the hills. The Onondaga Nation is a member of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. Centrally located amongst the Iroquois nations, the Onondaga Nation serves as the Firekeepers, or capital of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. Seneca Nation, meaning people of the Big Hill. The Seneca Nation is a member of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, geographically located on the western end of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. The Seneca are called the Keepers of the Western Door and are responsible for protecting the western entrance into Haudenosaunee territory. Then we have their economy, the Three Sisters. The primary economy of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy was horticulture, cultivating what the Haudenosaunee called the Three Sisters: corn, beans, and squash. The women of the village were primarily in charge of the community's economy and tended to the fields, while the men supplemented their economy through hunting and fishing. The Haudenosaunee economy figures prominently in their spiritual cycle of ceremonies, as the Haudenosaunee will hold Thanksgiving ceremonies to welcome and honor a particular plant or food during corresponding seasons. When George Washington wanted to neutralize the Haudenosaunee Confederacy during the American Revolution, he ordered General Sullivan to destroy every Haudenosaunee village, specifically targeting their cornfields, an act that earned Washington and succeeding presidents the title of Ranatakarias, or Town Destroyer. Which, I mean, that's pretty fair. I can't argue with that. Then we have Tuscarora Nation, meaning hemp gatherers. The Tuscarora Nation is a member of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. Originally from North Carolina, the Tuscarora migrated northward and were adopted by the Haudenosaunee in between 1714 and 1722. From that point on, the Haudenosaunee were referred to as the Six Nations Confederacy. Okay, I think we've read up on all of those. We just have one more in here for individuals, I betcha. Kaniet'Zeo updated. Kaniet'Zeo is actions during the Braddock expedition, along with her relationship with the known Templar, more or less excluded her from becoming a clan mother herself in adulthood. However, it seems even after her child was born, she continued arguing for action in the war, rather than the restraint advocated by the village elders. She did, however, cut off all contact with Hatham. It's not clear why the Templars attacked in 1760 or what their objective might have been. The village was nearly destroyed, but recovered over the course of several years. Rest in peace to her. Oh my god, am I supposed to do this until I get it? There we go.
Huh?
There you go, bud.
Nonas ka bidene ne wasa ga yeri ni hadi runungwe ka ta hunana dakbage so nona as kananage ne ta de watna neda iga gar hagunsu on doratu ka hunjage unda ditaru gardu ne josera as ka de wanya wana hadi hage yahtes kari westa yunki akwa daze te segun ino tumne ha ne tizaha akta da honenu haje te dun zohun jokna e de waire to ga yaho tena tai de waire to ga yah tai de waderio to arena zawane tokni ko hak wagerek tageri hunyani o nirt zia gerato tigawanio to agwex yotti na kuni zaha gasto zeriohage ziniotne oya nekzia tamdo era ye de ga hondage yata de don zohun unka go derianderge wahi how yungeni dogas ki dogan deni gweni toya yedenewe ne dosa ya yedini rada ne unzage Waderian that Siraxon egiga. Maskena gera. Quahnek daxer.
Perfect.
Agua sayane raja.
I'm glad I have well, I think they're on for this automatically, but god damn it, really? I pressed the button. Oh man. I'm glad there's subtitles. Hopefully you guys can read those. I'm not gonna read them out as they come up. You're welcome. I'm mad that I touched the ground. I literally was holding R2 just like it said. And he just fell. I like how those rocks aren't considered the ground.
Zodzi on dore. Onio ti isere zaha set satstege doga ya chasadatrege.
Nexi ohnayawan ito ko at jada na ito no gihie.
Doga oya wat ti nakunyanyo akta satkan zera.
Ratam Haketon is not as afraid as his friend. I'm gonna try with his name. I'll try. I think I got his down. I don't know if I can do any of the other ones. That's what I want, right? Oh, we just go... Okay, yeah. Up the crack. Nope, just kidding. Well, kind of. He definitely grabs onto it. I can't believe he can climb that. But I guess if Tom Cruise can do it. Look at that. It is illegal to have one of those nowadays, if it's a bald eagle feather. Fun fact. You're just not allowed to have one. Don't ever pick one up if you see one. Save yourself the trouble, because they have a no-tolerance policy, I believe.
Nahoda, waka ni guhruni.
Yatta wak kwenyo agwego yang gani haramge. Gaan ka der har de zinora agwego ang seroroge. Kada ka isere yatta ka yeri zinigo yung gani. Tont kur harege. The garden on the top.
Find more feathers, okay. That's doable. Just gotta find a way up. Can I climb this tree? Yeah. There we go. Which way is this one? Is it this way, probably? Yeah. Thought I saw another one around here. Unless I'm a fool. Okay, can I not climb that? I can climb back up here, evidently. Sure, why not? We'll go there. Could have swore there was another feather. Oh, there we are. That'll work. Yeah, they brought back feather collecting in this game. Which is fine. Collect those that we can. So I think it's interesting and fun. Something down there that doesn't sound great. I got a fox. And yes, we can cut them open and take their stuff. Well, their pelts specifically.
So the way na dam go. I want to go and just down the owner.
Yeah, segu de dom zong mai deni wararoro ge danu ganehum.
Agwa ya no wonder they got the ratsra we on. Then it does 0 zuzi wagarezo.
Anguri hunya, kana dakta ezot kodina gerenyo, toan di jadora de. Dohum zong yo snore am dayo kwate. Yot kwenya sia ka heya de. Kaya tanoro ne giga de ham tanega. Onek tia de waderi wa kwenyas tage ne sa oyera.
Alright.
Kada denak dotas aunda sade sanuni. Toga anse sadowate. Ande wadu nege negario.
Alright. Okay, this just has hunting tips.
Agwa next is in what
on Jojera to onek tia setari zinume guja darorox ne gundirio. Diosumagaro de the what's gone hukwa. tika neki rata. Zezak ne kayendere matrori ti unwak to dundun dawari.
Yeah, this is a good
Kanaktiyo
spot.
ne ka ayut karhara.
We'll put up a snare there.
Hauki oya dijat karhara. Kan tozat karhara.
Kan niot.
Yuyanere. Hau jade nyanda ne zaha gario dawana ye deniena. Jini gariwa sugenir hare.
So we're gonna want bait, I do believe. Can I find a... There we go. That's what I wanted.
To idawes. So de sanios ni za ana.
Ya, kaya gwire danu kahore au naya anga taksa de ne kanehum. Negi gas kaya da kesnu sage angkat de zi anjena. Onak tis kena asun a ange. Toga oskenundu ayungenika amadego. Takwa de roro.
Okay, let's do it. You know, not that I have anything against hunters, but I feel like I'd be a lot more impressed if hunters had to do it this way. Come on over. They had to take them down with their bare hands.
Ona deni roro ke zino hoda de odom zohun.
Alright. Let's go check the snares. Yeah, if you love animals, this game and the next two, essentially. The next two main games, I should say. Probably not for you, because you kill a lot of animals. Actually, like half the Assassin's Creed games in the series kill a lot of animals. The ones set in cities, not so much.
Timjatumzoni segu, nektiate zugini naktude. Onekti de deni zaru ajadorade. Toga idenere yatta idenokta.
Yatte wag der yan dare.
Kunye takwa, tazadade takwa, nize.
Ratan Haketon is he's a pretty cool guy. What can I say? I want to find more deer, mainly. What's on me, out of curiosity? Alright, we'll set this here and we'll come back for it. Let's find a tree we can climb, shall we? Then we can hunt some deer from above. There we go. If they would stop running, that'd be ideal. That one shall do. Come on, jump on it. Yeah. That's what we want to do. Okay. found some more. Let's check our snare quick. I don't think we've caught anything. No. I hardly ever use the snares in this game. I usually just jump on things, to be honest. I don't know how it saw me. I'm up in the trees. Here we go. Oh, I wanted the deer. Whatever, I'll take that. Can I loot it? There we go. Oh, we can climb this tree. Should be able to. Just take on the fox. I wonder if I could just get this deer. Oh, Gesundheit. That deer was just stuck. At that point, we gotta put it out of its misery, right? Alright, let's see what we can do here. Nice. That's honestly the most efficient way for me to do the hunting. Let me guess, still nothing in the snare? Yeah. That was a waste. That's okay, though. We'll have better luck next time.
Kana dogo? Oh, naawa ne. Otku.
What do you think he's running from? Go, 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 go. Get out of there. He said, no, leave me be. Ow. Oh, wait a minute. This isn't supposed to be possible yet. We don't have hidden blades. Okay. Cool. I got the bear. How is that possible? That's funny.
Agua gets honey, was get nyagate. Nyawa.
I'm the Jatandi ona. I always see her najak get who didn't go rayanda ne. Tino jera ya ezo de tiena.
Nexiato deot.
Oh, niot.
Rat dukkawa hageri hunya.
Not bad, not bad. Alright, let's see what we're doing in here now. I like that you get to see the inside of Longhouse. This is cool. What are those hanging? Are those they almost look like corn. Is it maize? I love me some corn. Alright. This must be our clan mother.
Wakaderian Dare Dizardi Hoye was Onojera Dia Garha Gunchedeweta. Onojera Dia Deatia Jaranire ne Oya Ganyoke Haga Ziwaderio. Una was Sundade Donzaderi Hua Zeraquase. Yohunjanorunge, Yunguadena Dayan, Danune, Amha Junguaderi Wayani, ne Ayatia se Danisege, Unjunhunza.
Arahaja Zidogane Gando, Ayatiri Hune Kiswas, Saha Odisa Stasirayanda.
Yunguadora is in a tonaya de Wayer Hage. Yunguayat Dodarhe un Zinogayera, ne de Tiswa Neda. Danu ne dogat to no de wayere yot deru ayungwa jonha se.
Onujera Zitoni Ori Hawana ne I the wada den hodu.
I think we're about to find out.
Hoda Tiga.
Good thing Nathan didn't see this.
Greetings, Guardian.
Are you a spirit?
You may think of me as such.
Where am I?
You are where you were before. If you mean to ask what it is you now see, it is known as the Nexus. From here, probabilities are calculated so that the proper path may be chosen.
What path?
Yours.
A bald eagle.
Follow me.
We can control it a little bit. Just kind of.
What have you done to me?
Selected a form familiar to your culture. It is designed to ease navigation. We have waited millennia for your arrival. You, who will bring to him the last piece, that he may open the door.
I do not understand.
Nor need you. I sense my words cause pain. But such was not my intention. You are important, child, in more ways than you will ever know. As we speak, forces gather in secret, preparing to seize control of the land. If they succeed, the sanctuary will be breached.
With a cannon. Ow! I fucking failed that. Oops.
Yours is a special lineage. Past, present, future. Many are connected to you. Many who have changed the world, who will change the world. So too shall you. I have called you here that you might know your duty. You must protect Sanctuary from those who would undo our work.
What sanctuary? What work?
Maintaining your current course will result in a negative outcome. Premature access will destabilize the region. Your village and its people will be destroyed.
That's a yikes.
What am I to do?
You will learn of a man who will provide additional training. Seek this symbol. No doubt you have many questions. Time will see them answered. For now, you must follow. Leading later.
So we will become a leader, but not yet. There we go. It's time that we seek out an assassin. It would seem. It is the way. Now we're in the woods. That was quite the trip. There it is.
Radun hage dun got nuwe ni satka to tiga gari wayarunitstu.
Adun heads wagena duni. What garo di rungwe daya jadatka. Agena dun hase o nio di akande. Da tune tiga runungwe. Easy na gahanda di tunes. Gari wesi wagaderiandere. Tanu ize ki oni. Arahaja di zadetni gorizo ne dosa aseri wayena.
Yungar haratstu ne ayedewa dun hunjanuna. Nexti da sheri de nize. De ot danu haje hunjage danu ya taundo ayungwa da se dunhage.
Ya ka atakitskodige danu agader harda dene ayde wa wanda ne.
Wa gunya to dari sigi owadu era osete.
Ohnu jera di desaderi wadenyani.
Aze gonya tak kweni daguri wadeni. Ya hasa giga. Asetari jina hoda ze sakstit kada kunegas. Tonu e dagatka tone gari wayernitsto. Ne egi garun wera hawi o yashnena zinio zizatnista hawa shagoshnena.
Yama.
I would love to know how he helped his mother. But I don't believe that's ever explained.
Serdia sadoga, nekzi gets hani suzi ezos are harde. Was sezakane gari wayronitstu, satahatsari.
And there it is. Memory sequence 4 done. We have yet to meet an assassin in this game. Well, arguably, we did actually meet one way back on the ship. I can't think of his name. Mills. When we were playing as Hatham.
Leaving home was harder than I thought. I expected the journey would fill me with a sort of pride, a sense of accomplishment. But whatever it was that carried me away from home soon fled, replaced by questions. And no small amount of doubt. Had I been too hasty? Had I made a mistake? The others in the village, they thought this was something I wanted, something I chose to do. But it never felt that way to me. No, it was not a choice. It was an obligation. Because if not me, then who?
Yeah, I was not gonna let that cougar catch me off guard. We're on our mission now, though. Now, there's a trinket down there we can collect. The question is, can I remember how to get there? I hope I can. Don't jump off the cliff. Please. Might have actually already missed it. I didn't realize we'd be here this quickly. Yeah, I think it's actually back around the way we came. If I'm remembering correctly. I'd like to get this one while we're walking through here. You know? If it's possible. Because jumping down there will just get us killed, I know that. Woo! Yeah, I don't think we can make that fall, but there's like a little cave that you can go through. The question is where, and it might have actually been all the way back over here. I may have been a fool. Unless I'm actually a fool for thinking it's this way. Am I? I might be. I don't like being a complete idiot and not knowing where I'm going. So I guarantee if I fall down there, I'm dead. That will not work. There's got to be a way down there. This leads over here. Is this it? Is this where I've already been? I cannot tell. Where's the way down? Ha! There we go. I knew it. We got a trinket. Very cool and good. Now let's actually go where we're trying to go. Okay, I believe this is the way we're supposed to go. It's just down that, maybe, possibly. Glad I found that. Alright, come on. Sometimes the movement works. Sometimes it does not at all. Hunting Society. There's a bunch of stuff we can do for them. But we'll do that eventually. But now we're on a mission. We are on a mission. Got places to be. There's actually some really beautiful spots. This region is Johnstown. Hello? Oh, you can trade with this guy, okay. See, I don't think I've ever traded with this guy. This is cool. sell to him, but I don't want to. I don't really need anything right now either, so we'll be okay. Yeah, keep going. I know roughly where I want to end this episode. We're not too far off in terms of time from that. Looks really cool over there. Again, there's some decent views in this game when you're allowed to see far, but you can see there's like a fog to everything. You can't really see the whole map. Okay. Again, we might have been able to fast travel there, but I never think about that.
Get out of the way! After him!
Well, that seems interesting. Okay. Travel to Davenport Homestead? Yes, please. I like our garb. It looks really cool, actually. It's like tribal outfit. I dig it. This area is also particularly nice. And we'll spend a lot of time in this region, the Davenport Homestead. Pretty important. And it's not even just in this game, actually. Another game in the series. I won't spoil anything yet, though. It's pretty neat. Alright. Gotta move on. The trees are very linear, but it's cool that you have the option of climbing through them. I kind of think it's neat. I just wish it was a little more crazy sometimes. But it is what it is. Also, there's no mapping out this region as far as I can tell. This region's like pre-mapped. Which is kind of nice. No sink spots in here, as far as I'm aware. Which is a little different. Normally you have sink spots everywhere. It's like a cart came through
Just
here.
give it a few days. Private matters being discussed here. Best you move along.
If I could kick your ass, I would. I don't like you guys. Hey, won't warn me again. I walked away. I actually don't think I've ever ran into them before in that spot. Look at this. This is a cool house. You haven't even seen the half of it. Knock, knock.
What? I was told you could train me.
No. Go away.
I'm not leaving!
Sounds like it's gonna rain. Let's read up on our presumed assassin here. Achilles Davenport, born 1710. You may not think it to look at him now, but this man was once the mentor of a powerful branch of the Assassins, the Colonial Brotherhood. Achilles' life before he was an assassin isn't well documented. It seems that most of the records were destroyed when the Templars nearly wiped out the Order in 1763. From what I do have, Achilles was recruited in the mid-1730s and became a mentor in 1746. He had a gift for both recruitment and organization, so before long, he was head of a crew of assassins that spanned the colonies and much of the frontier. Achilles strengthened the ties between the Order and the nations of the Iroquois Confederacy, particularly the Kanien'kehá:ka, though as far as our records show, Connor is the first Native American to actually become an assassin. Which is interesting. Oh, we got other ones in here. So we got the New England Hunting Society. This club was founded in 1770 by several trappers who earned their living in the area, including Simon Girty. The idea was to have cabins that would be a safe haven, a warm place to rest for colonists who spent the season trapping in this part of the frontier. According to their records, as many as 24 hunters used the buildings at any one time. Although it originally started out as just a cabin space, it quickly evolved into a more formalized society. Human nature being what it is, hunters would brag about their kills around the fire and exaggerate. After the several brawls over who could claim the title of the mightiest hunter, several society members agreed to start logging their kills in writing. Though why they thought this would prevent people from lying is beyond me. It didn't. Sad, really. By the way, yesterday I caught a velociraptor. Very funny, very funny. So yeah. You can see some of the animals. We already killed a cougar, we've killed a fox. And we've killed a deer, as well as a hare. There are other animals, but for now that's all there is. They don't actually say anything about them. You're just supposed to know that they're an animal, I guess. It's got multiple horses.
I need a place to camp. This should do.
I gave up on getting in that house really quick when it started raining. Just I think it's supposed to be raining. It kind of sounded like it was. At least before. Oh yeah, it is. Yep. Thunderstorming. Alright, it's time. It's the day after. Attempt number 2. There's a building over there. I've never noticed that, really. Still not open.
There must be another way in.
Alright. Time for some breaking and entering. No.
Please, all I ask is a moment of your time.
I apologize if I've been unclear or otherwise confused you with my words. It was never my intention to mislead, so let me try to clarify. Get the hell off my land.
I'm coming up!
Yeah, it seems like a real smart plan. Can I just climb anywhere? No. That's kind of what I figured. Is there a tree we can go up? Yeah, that's our plan.
Just hear me out. What are you so afraid of?
Afraid? You think I'm afraid of anything? Least of all, self-important little scamp like you? Or you might dream of being a hero, of riding to rescues, of saving the world. But stay this course, and the only thing you're gonna be is dead. The world's moved on, boy. Best you do too.
I will not leave, do you hear me? I'm never leaving. Just wait, old man.
Now we'll run across your roof real quick.
I will not be defeated so easily.
There we go. Well, a day's work.
You have to.
These are square toes. This'll be easy.
That's what you said last time, and I wound up with a dead horse and a dark eye.
Who are you?
No one you need concern yourself with, little britches.
Best cut for something bad happens.
No.
Can't say we didn't warn ya.
Ow. Hey. There we go.
Oi, brothers!
Oh, stop! Stop! Slow your attack! Holy shit!
Should have run when you had the chance.
Ha! Look at the damage done!
There we go. That was badass.
Songs and spirits can't save you now.
Gotcha, bitch.
Why are you here? What do you want?
Best ask the boss man.
You working for the old man, then? That it? Maybe this will get you talking.
Nope, don't think it will. We just use a knife.
Thank you.
Clean this up. Then I suppose we should talk.
There we go. That's unfortunate.
Sorry.
Not your fault. This whole place is ready to come down. Goddamn miracle it hasn't already. Anyway, who are you?
My name is Radohangado.
Right. Well, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Now, tell me why you're here.
I was told to seek this symbol.
Do you even know what that symbol represents? Or what it is you're asking for?
No.
And yet, here you are.
The spirit said that I am...
These spirits of yours have been harassing the assassins for centuries. Ever since Ezio uncorked the bottle. But you don't even know what an assassin is, do you? Well, best settled in then. I've got a story to tell, and it's gonna take a while to get it all out.
Yeah, they're not gonna tell
And
us.
so, this is why the assassins have dedicated themselves to the pursuit of the Templars. Because if they succeed, your spirit's visions will become reality.
Then I will stop them.
Oh, I have no doubt you'll try. Come on. I've something to show you.
Achilles is still tough, but...
Wasn't a joke when I said this place was coming apart.
I feel bad for him. He's clearly
Why don't you
struggling.
repair it?
What's the point? Besides, I don't have materials for the job.
So buy them.
Look at me. You think I can just march into some store, purse full of pounds, and go shopping?
Yes. Why not?
So naive.
If only it was that easy.
This way. You can just come in here, throw those on, and call yourself an assassin.
I did not. I would never presume...
That's all right. I know they've a certain allure. Very well. I'll train you. Then we'll know if you've the right to wear those robes.
Thank you.
Name's Achilles. Come on then. We've work to do.
There is.
You are a speck of dust, a nothing. You and all your kind, living in the dirt like animals, oblivious to the true ways of the world.
What do the Templars want?
What they've always wanted. Control. They see an opportunity in the colonies. A chance for new beginnings, unfettered by the chaos of the past. This is why they backed the British. Here they have a chance to illustrate the merits of their beliefs. A people in service to the principles of order and structure.
I have seen what is to come if they succeed. They have to die, don't they? All of them. Even my father.
Especially your father. He's the one holding the whole thing together.
I don't know when he learned that that was our father, but we'll just ignore that for a minute.
So I trained. In running, in climbing, in fighting, in falling. And for every lesson that concerned the body, there were two that concerned the mind. Language, philosophy, logic, the arts. Achilles taught most often of the Assassins and Templars, their structures, origins, and purpose. Centuries of history condensed into a few short days. I told him of the men who had burned my village, of Charles Lee, and my promise to him. Achilles explained that Lee and his followers were Templars, and that they were led by none other than my own father. If I was to serve the Order, these men would become my targets. So I worked harder, learned faster, but for all my progress, it was clear that I still had much to learn. My training had only just begun.
Alright, with that done, this room over here has all of our weapons and tools. So you can swap them out, but obviously we don't have any yet, other than what we have. You can view our targets up here. And also, I totally forgot about this, but it's really, really funny in the game if you have something for this cutscene. If you go into whatever the thing is called, I can't think of what it's called, but there's something you can mess with. And you can get all the assassin outfits from games before this and after this, because this is obviously the remastered. And you have them all on the wall as you're talking to Achilles, and they're just in the background of the scene. I was a little sad that they weren't there. It's kind of funny. There's even one, I think, for the Assassin's Creed movie, which is kind of funny. So yeah. We'll read these last couple database updates and entries, and then I think we're going to call this episode. What do we got here? Just Charles Lee updated. Let's read up on him a little bit. Frustrated with his lack of advancement with the British, Lee moved back to New York in 1773. He quickly became a supporter of the revolutionary cause in June of 1775. He joined the Continental Army and with the rank of Major General. I missed an "and" in there. Lee began his service under the command of George Washington, which graded since Lee had some hopes of being named Commander-in-Chief of the Army himself. Given Lee's experience, he might have had a point, but he also had his drawbacks. Most notably, he was a Templar. Most notably was his temper. Lee was quick to anger and had a habit of being very vocally and publicly angry when he didn't get his way. Bosses love that. Which is really funny because, again, he was super calm and nice when we met him before, so something had to have changed. Lee also had some rather odd personal quirks. He was exceptionally fond of dogs and was continually surrounded by them. In fact, his much-loved Pomeranian... in particular, his much-loved Pomeranian. I don't know where I'm getting these words from. Never trust a man continually surrounded by tiny dogs. He was also vain and liked tailored suits, but rarely washed them, meaning that he smelled a little better than his animals. And worse, according to some. Despite his failings, Lee was both a competent leader and popular with the troops. Washington recognized it and named one of the forts on the Hudson River Fort Lee in his honor. If Washington was hoping that just naming a fort after him would smooth over their rocky relationship, it amazingly didn't work. In fact, as time went on, Lee became less and less fond of Washington and became reluctant to follow his orders at all. When Washington retreated across New York and New Jersey in 1776, he sent several commands to Lee to follow him, which Lee did, but very slowly, which may be what resulted in him being left behind and captured by the British in 1776. Still, it's understandable. He probably had to stop every 5 minutes to let his bloody dogs piss in a hedge. Fortunately for Lee, he'd resigned his commission in the British Army shortly after taking on his role in the Continental Army. That meant instead of being tried for being a deserter, his imprisonment in New York was more of an inconvenience. He was wined and dined by the British, allowed to have whomever he wanted as a dinner guest. It was basically a bed and breakfast. In return, Lee gave up information about the state of the Continental Army. So yeah. Pretty interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're going to call this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. We'll just take a very, very, very quick little tour of the house because there's not much to see yet. I do like walking around. We'll have more stuff in various rooms in here soon-ish. All kinds of little stuff to do, but not just yet. We'll have it looking better in no time, though, I'm sure. This is going to be our base of operations. I like the fireplaces. There's even rooms upstairs you can go into. Is it as good as, say, Monteriggioni? I think not. Monteriggioni is like probably the perfect location for a base in the series. But I think I actually like this one more than the last two we've had. It has more personality by far. Look at that. It's pretty cool. It's a nice painting. Very, very cool. We got a globe in here. I'm not sure where this painting is specifically of, but it looks interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it, I would say. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Ooh, okay, what's this? Examine something here. Oh, that's just our database. Okay. I didn't know you could actually interact with that directly. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. And next time, we shall continue. The next video on the channel will either be a live stream of Oblivion or this. It just depends what I'm feeling like. I feel like I should do Oblivion again. I should try and do it alternate. But we'll figure that out when it comes time. Until next time, this has been King Enderman 26, aka Wes, and I'm signing off.